So the first thing that I wanted to talk about, Ryan, was I'm looking for a new vehicle, and for a
Hmm.
while now, I have been um, really wanting to get an all electric vehicle. I've heard a lot of people gushing about Teslas and that kind of stuff, but personally, I'm not a big fan of the idea of like supporting Elon Musk, right? So I've been
Yep.
looking for other vehicles, other EVs that, the other thing about Teslas is that, if you're looking for like a luxury vehicle and you've never been in a luxury vehicle, a Tesla might meet what your expectations. But if you're like a actual luxury vehicle owner, the Tesla is a step down. So you can get more for your money basically with other brands than Tesla, right? Have you heard that before?
No, but I'm curious. I'm got a lot of questions. Um, so what luxury vehicles have you been driving around in, Gardner?
Well, I haven't been driving around in luxury vehicles, but I'm all about getting the best bang for my buck, if you know what I'm saying. Like
Gotcha.
if
Gotcha.
if I want to buy a nice vehicle, if my intention is to buy a nice vehicle, and I don't necessarily need it to be luxury, but I also want to make sure that like the tolerances are up to par with something like a Toyota or a Hyundai, which are vehicles that I've owned before, and
Yeah.
everything that I've read shows that Tesla's tolerances aren't quite there, and there are areas of real polish in a Tesla vehicle that are outstanding, but then there are other places where things just are nowhere near what other manufacturers are able to achieve. Right? Um,
O-
I'm
Okay.
thinking of like
Okay.
where the trunk hood comes down and locks. The On a Tesla, there's like way too much of a clearance on one side and almost no clearance on the other, where the hood comes down on the trunk. And so it's like, you look at something like a Hyundai Ioniq 5, which is what I'm looking at, and the tolerances are almost perfect. They're, that's the kind of stuff that you come to expect from like one of the old guard in the
Yeah.
electric in the traditional vehicle community. So that's why I've been looking at
Yep.
the new 2022 Ioniq Hyundai 5. And I know I just sent you the link, but I'm curious what you think about this vehicle.
It looks great. It looks like a great SUV. I'm an SUV fan because, well, frankly, I just have spent a lot of my life road tripping.
Yeah.
And, an SUV is one of those things that you can take everything you need to with you. You can sleep in it if you want to, which, if you're on a long road trip, sometimes you're just like, I want to pull over here and take a nap. And yeah, so this is right up my alley. Um, it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful car. You're looking at, yeah, the 2022, which is that the first one, or is it,
I
has this been
believe
around for a while?
I I could be wrong about this, but I believe this is the first all electric version. It might be there might have
Gotcha.
been like last year's version had an all electric variant, but this is the first one that is only offered as all electric.
Yeah. Um, it looks like there are a couple of options for range. Range is definitely like one of those things that so we've been looking at getting an electric car when we get when we move next, and the range is still like this thing that I know that now there's enough charging stations that you can mostly get by without worrying about it, but I have range anxiety. So, but 300
Yeah.
miles of range is pretty good,
Yeah.
especially for an SUV. Um,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
This one has, according to this, it has 269-mile range, which is pretty nice.
yeah. Well, you've got two different motors, and one has the 300 and one has the 269. So you've
Yeah.
got a choice that you can potentially make.
Right.
Um,
The 269 is the dual powertrain, right? That's the all-wheel drive.
I think that's right.
Yeah, because then there's the rear powertrain, and in Maine,
Yep, that's
where
right.
in Maine where you know, it snows, you don't want rear wheel drive. You want, you know, all wheel or front wheel drive. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. And so the vehicle, like, I'm thinking either the Phantom Black or the Shooting Star, which is a matte gray, which most of the time you don't see vehicles in a matte finish. And I really like the matte finish. Like it's really, really nice looking.
It does.
It's
It
so
does
dope.
look nice.
And then I'm thinking I had a Hyundai Elantra GT, I believe, and it had the hatchback, and it was really nice. It had a black leather finish on the inside, and it got so hot. Like it was like scorching. You'd sit there, you'd put on like shorts in the summer, you'd go for a drive and you'd toast the back of your legs, you know? So I'm probably going to end up with like the dark green leatherette, which is really handsome.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I really like this vehicle. I think this looks super, super nice. No.
I'm glad you're not getting a Tesla.
Yeah.
I do I know some people will get upset hearing that, but it's not even that I have any beef necessarily with Tesla or you know, we've talked about Elon Musk before. I don't like that some people worship him, but I don't even necessarily have a real big beef with Musk either. But I think that the Tesla is just overrated, like vastly overrated, and it's I think if I were to go out and get something tomorrow, and of course some of this relies on like cost and stuff like that, but really like this Ioniq. Really, really like the Rivian SUV, the R1S. I think that thing is beautiful.
Oh.
And yeah, if I were to go and buy something tomorrow, I'd probably get that. But it's also $70,000.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
and I don't think I could pay that for a car.
Yeah, I'm pulling this up here. Rivian. Oh my gosh, look at that thing. That is that's a nice looking vehicle. Wow, that's interesting. It looks very different from what I was expecting. Yeah, that's cool.
It's like a Jeep, you know, Jeep-esque.
Yeah,
which I like, but yeah, very expensive luxury vehicle. Their truck is nice too. I already have a car. I have a Jeep Cherokee. It's fairly new, but if I was gonna get something else, it would probably, I don't know, would probably be a truck. Just because every time I go to move something,
yeah,
like furniture and stuff, I'm always mad at myself that I don't have access to a truck.
Yeah,
and so. But yeah, I'm excited. I want you to make a video of your when you get your car.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I am concerned about when the actual delivery of the vehicle will be because of like the chip shortage and everything. But I mean, this is just such a nice looking vehicle, and it seems premium as all get out. So
you were saying the chip shortage. This is the first time this has ever happened to me. My car has appreciated in value.
Whoa, dude. Yeah, that's not a thing that usually happens.
Yep. That's all I was gonna say. Is like the chip shortage has made it so that my car has actually, it's worth quite a bit more than what I owe on it at this point, or it was a
Wow.
couple months ago. I don't know. It's maybe in a different state now, but anyway, that so I understand the the may not know when you're getting your car because
Yeah.
it's apparently still pretty bad out there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I guess Nintendo isn't making like they're making like 3/4 of the Switches that they actually want to make because of the chip shortage, which is bananas.
Man.
But the thing about vehicles for me, right, is it's like I'm really cheap. I don't like spending money on things. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to like
Yep.
get as much value as I can for the minimum amount of money as I can. And so the idea of like spending money on a luxury vehicle is like, bleh. The nice thing about this is that it's not particularly a luxury vehicle, right? Like it's a mid-sized sedan, or not a mid-sized sedan. It's a medium-sized SUV. And it's like, you know, all the value in it is like that I don't drive it around a whole lot. I don't drive much. Like I have to go to meet clients sometimes and I might drive 100 miles in a couple of weeks. Like it's really, I don't spend a lot of time driving. So for me, it's
Right.
more about like the feeling of driving, you know, like I have been driving a hybrid sedan for I want to say 5 years at this point, and it's a really nice vehicle. Most of my friends who get in are like, "Wow, this is really nice." It's a 2008 Toyota Camry hybrid,
Yeah.
and it's like it has a lot of like the luxury features, like the luxury options you can get. Like it has the dual heat modes, and the rear has its own heat mode, so you can like adjust the temperature
Nice.
independently, which is really nice. And I put a head unit in it that like looks absolutely mint. Like it fits the aesthetic of the interior perfectly, and it has Android on it. It's using like Honeycomb or some ancient one, but it's not Honeycomb. it's a little newer than Honeycomb, but it's like it's still pretty old. But it, you know, I've been like looking for something that has like Android Go or whatever the hell it is, where you can sync your phone to it. Because then
Yeah.
whenever you upgrade your phone, you upgrade your head unit too, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just looking
So
for like
befo-
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say before the car I have now, I had a Mazda that had a you know, I don't really know what the default name of the software that was on the unit was, but I do remember that I was able to jailbreak it and
Nice.
get Android Auto loaded onto it, and it was so much fun. I just love that there are these increasingly more powerful computers in our cars
Yeah.
that are the infotainment, you know, center, and it's just fun to mess around with those. Like no matter what vehicle I get, I'll ultimately end up like jailbreaking that thing and figuring out how to put stuff on there that shouldn't be on there.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish that there was more information about the infotainment stuff on the Ioniq 5. Like, does it support AirPlay or CarPlay or whatever the heck? Because I have friends who have iPhones, you know, like, does it support Android? I'm curious about that kind of stuff, and that's why I'm not going to get this thing until there are reviews out about it already, so I can go in and double check and make sure, hey, is this going to like meet my stupid nerd requirements, you know? So that's where I'm at. I'm really excited about this vehicle. I'm going to be leasing it probably as soon as I have confirmed that it meets all of my needs by watching.
You don't have to
reviews.
say how much it is, but is it expensive to lease it?
It's more than I'm paying now for my vehicle, but I think it's affordable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Generally, you can lease stuff for pretty reasonable
Yeah, and honestly, like with a vehicle where
although you just have to make sure you don't go over.
Yeah, right. And the thing is with a vehicle, like from what I understand, leasing is a better deal because vehicles depreciate in value so quickly, right? And so like, you know, you don't want to invest $35,000 into something that's not going to be worth that amount in 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's why leasing seems like the better option. And I'm looking forward to, you know, upgrading because I've like I said, I've had this 2008 Toyota Camry for quite a while and I just haven't wanted to upgrade. But now I think it's time. I'm really excited about it.
Yep. That's awesome. I'm excited to see how you like it.
Yeah, it should be cool. Yeah, is there anything else we want to talk about? I think that's everything. Like, we can go over the features here. There are some interesting features.
Sure.
It has remote. If you get the limited edition, which probably is the one I'm going to get, it actually has the remote smart parking assist. So you don't even have to be in your vehicle, and it will park itself. Which
that's
is
cool.
Like, that's kind of, I mean, not gonna lie, that's a huge selling point for me. I don't like parking my vehicle. Like, especially, you know, in like downtown where it's like there's it's all parallel parking. I can parallel park. I'm actually pretty good at parallel parking, better than most of the people that I know who parallel park regularly. But at the same time, I don't like doing it. So this having remote parking assist, where you don't even have to be in your vehicle, you could, like, you know, get out of your car and just hit the button and it'll park itself. That's super cool.
Yeah.
It has two-way onboard charging, so you can charge your vehicle, and then there's a regular, like, receptacle for, you know, your standard 120 volt power supply, and you can plug right into that. And it also, like, supports it can charge from 0 to 80% charge in 15 minutes, which is bananas. Whoa. That's so fast.
They do that. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's wow. And then let's see, what was the other thing that was, like, really cool? Yeah, I guess it has heated seats on even, like, the basic edition, which is pretty nice as well.
That's good.
And you can use your phone as a key. So all of those things.
That'll be pretty cool. Yeah. That'll be pretty cool.
But yeah.
Although I don't know if you'd want to not have a key just in case your phone screws up.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. I feel like, does NFC, near field communication, does that work if the battery is dead in your phone?
For this use case, I doubt it, because it's going to be so. I think the answer is no anyway. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Even if it's like some kind of mechanism where it loads, you know, that to, like, the NFC chip or whatever in the phone, I don't think that it would stay there necessarily.
Well, I'm wondering because, like, if your phone is dead, but it has an NFC chip in it, like, I'm imagining that, like, registering your vehicle, like registering your phone with your vehicle would mean that, like, whatever the unique ID of your NFC tag is would be the thing that lets the vehicle turn on. But I don't know. I mean, that's how it works in my car, because I have, like, keyless entry and keyless start. So all you need is the fob, and you can just push the button on the dashboard and the car starts, right? just even if you leave the fob in your pocket. But if the battery dies in the fob, you can just hold the fob up to the start button and it'll beep, and then you push the button and it turns on, even if the battery is dead in the fob. So I'm thinking that might be the thing. It probably isn't, but that would be cool if it would work that way.
Yeah, I need to learn more about this because I do know a little bit, because I know Teslas, you can load your, so I don't know how much the internet knows this, but I do have an NFC chip implanted in my hand, and I've had it for a long time, since like 2015. Yeah, and I use it for various things. And one thing I used it for at the beginning was I worked at Mycroft, and our doors were those magnetic locks, and we had a mechanism by which I could scan my hand or the chip in my hand and open it up and go. And so I know Teslas, you can do that. You can get into your Tesla with using these chips in your hand by loading the data onto those chips. So I'm not completely ignorant of like how some of this works, but I'm curious like how much freedom you have to like, if you can only do it via the app, on the phone, that then like, loads that onto the chip. Or I don't really know how that part works. And then it allows you to get in, or if you can take that, unique data and load it into other things. Because if you could use, other NFC tags for entry and stuff like that, that would be really interesting. But anyway, I guess that's something that you'll find out, and that maybe will be fun to look up and learn about later.
Yeah. Would you recommend having a
crazy future
NFC implanted?
I would recommend it.
Okay, cool.
It's worth it. I'm kind of worried because I've gotten they're so much better than the one I have in my hand now. 6 years later, and it's harder to change it out than
I would imagine
my other tech. And so I don't really know what I'm gonna do there. But yeah, I do think I'm going to upgrade, or maybe I'll just put another one in my other hand. And then I'll have two.
Nice. That's interesting. I've thought about doing that. I'm kind of skeeved out by the idea, but also kind of intrigued. So it's nice to know somebody who has done it before.
Yeah. And to finish my thought, you can use those to open Teslas. You can use them to open, doors and stuff like that. Anything really that interacts with NFC, and it was useful for a while. So so the audience knows I dropped out for a moment. Did you get the piece about using it for entry into Mycroft?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard I heard most of that, and then I said a few things, and then you dropped out. Yeah, but I guess that's everything for the Ioniq. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that like I said, you really need to make like a video about your car, because there's still going to be so much technology in your car.
Yeah,
and everybody who talks about the technology in cars don't care about the things that I care about.
Right.
So I'm curious to hear your take on it, because you'll have a much more relevant take than, The Verge or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I will definitely, when I get a new vehicle, I will I definitely talk about it on my channel. And you and I will go over the things that I talk about before I do, so that I make sure I cover everything that you care about.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Nice. You want to talk about Facebook and Meta and their new or their discontinuing of some stuff?
Yeah.